Well, it's summertime, and that means the kids are home, hopefully enjoying their school break. But it can be a crazy time for parents who might be working while trying to keep the kids busy, entertained, or worse, keep them from fighting with their siblings and killing each other. So what are parents supposed to do? Send them to camp, get them into sports or other activities? Well, here to discuss beyond keeping kids busy and creating a more connected and resilient family summer is Rob Jetten. He's the co-founder and CEO of RTJ Wellness and a certified health and wellness coach. And he joins me here in studio today. Rob, welcome back. Great to have you as always.
Jeanette, good to be back.
Yeah, I love all these little tidbits, nuggets of information.
We'll do our best to give some good advice.
Yeah, okay, so before founding RTJ Wellness, your company, you spent about 30 years as a high school teacher, was it? So you know kids, you know families, you know students, you know parents. You're a parent, you're as well, right? Okay, so what happens during those summer months? It's a wonderful time of year, but our schedules completely change. Don't they? Everything kind of goes off the rails a little bit.
Without a doubt, so different. So what we get in summer, we get to say goodbye to some of those school pressures and stresses.
Yeah, which is great.
It is good, but we inherit a whole new set. And as you mentioned, for a lot of parents, they got to deal with that work-life balance. You know, they got to think about maybe transporting kids, different childcare, how to keep the kids from killing each other, like you said. And just a whole lot of other things. So right at the start, and this is, I think, imperative, and I share this with parents at school. I did it when I was coaching. A parent's job is not to be a full-time activity coordinator. That's not their job.
Good advice.
Yeah, and
right there, off the top.
Exactly, because there's a lot of thinking. Maybe, I got to make sure my kids are always entertained, and we would say that's probably not the best way to go. You want to have. There's 3 key parts. I'll talk about them early and often. You want time for family connection. That's important. You want meaningful experiences, also important. But you really want to have some unstructured time for kids to figure out some things. And again, we'll get into options with those, but really that's the takeaway. It's not just all on the parents. That's just unfair and too stressful to them.
And I think that they feel that way. And like you said, they're trying to juggle possible childcare, camp, here and there.
So many things, right?
So you're saying parents feel pressured to keep their kids entertained, but it's not necessarily the best way to go. It's stressful for one thing. So tell us more.
Okay, so super. So I'm going to say this. A lot of thinking, and it's true. It's true in school, true in athletics, true in families. You're better off to have a little bit of really focused time with your kids than you are to have like hours of distracted time. And we do some work with parent groups, and I got a lot of little tidbits I'd love to share with you. So we'll get into the unstructured time in a bit. But for that focused time, there's so many things you could do with your family that would build teamwork and connection and problem solving and all those great skills, and also get some resilience built in. So right out of the gate, one of the big focuses we have is let kids make some choices, age-appropriate choices. Okay, so you can even wire it this way. Like maybe say, okay, for the next hour, you're going to plan what the family does. Okay, with boundaries, of course, you can't be chaos. It's got to be safe. Or here's $10. You're going to plan a family night. So they can go get some, popsicles, whatever they choose to do. Or hey, find a place in the community we've never visited. Get it on Google Maps. We'll go look at it and visit it together. So give them some choice, because choice, you know what it does? Increases engagement, reduces helplessness, gives responsibility to kids, and they feel like they're part of the decision stuff, which is so good for kids, for sure.
I was going to say it's part of them making a decision. So how can giving kids choice reduce stress for, I guess for everybody.
For sure.
For parents,
so I'm going to go back to that. If you give kids choices and they get to make choices, like what we see again is their engagement and they feel like they're part of the decision making. We often overplan for our kids. And that cuts a big chunk of that engagement responsibility piece out of their life. So, I'm going to tell you a couple stories in a minute, but there's a case that a family, like this person, and I'll tell you this one now. He was at his mom and dad's house. He's a parent. And there at the house was a Lethbridge. Do you remember Lethbridge?
I do.
Yeah, so
Yes.
for those people who don't know it, it's kind of like a square box, a light in the back, and then this black, little thing with
Right.
holes, and
Yeah.
you could put different. So he brought Lethbridge home, and he said to his kids, ranged from 15 to 5, this is Lethbridge. I'm going to let you figure it out. I want you each to come up with an activity that the family can do with Lethbridge. Now, I thought it was brilliant because the youngest kid, I thought was brilliant. What the 5-year-old said, well, how about this? We each get 15 minutes. We got to make an animal, with the Lethbridge, and we all got to kind of guess
What
what
the
the animal is.
Oh, that's cute.
And that dad told us, like the laughter and the
I
buy-in
can
and the
imagine.
family connection. It was just a game changer. So get them involved.
That's
let them pick
fun.
things. Yeah.
And that's almost like a family challenge.
It is,
too, because
right,
that's
exactly.
another one of your suggestions
Without
is
a
to
doubt.
create a family
And
challenge.
teamwork and get that built. You
Yeah.
bet, yeah.
So how are challenges different from simply planning an
Yeah.
activity together?
And again, I'll circle back that a family challenge is a shared goal. And shared goals are often different than just activities. Now, again, if you want the benefits of having shared goals, like if we did a wellness checklist or a resilience checklist, there'd be multiple checks. So shared goals means we cooperate, we communicate, right? Encourage each other. There's an outcome. We could use it maybe to help others. So there's multiple benefits. And when you start having those, kids get away from that language like, what am I going to do to, hey, what can we plan and work on today? And again, another quick story, because I love this one. And I share this every time I do a parent group. I got to meet a set of parents, mom and dad, who ended up, and I thought it was brilliant, they ended up having what they called household records. And I just think it's brilliant. They started when their kids were young, so they timed multiple times. I'll give you an example, is how quick could the family unload the whole dishwasher?
Without breaking the dishes.
Exactly, but they put it on the clock.
I can just see it.
But yeah, it was chaotic, right? But I just think what a brilliant way to A, you get work done, responsibility.
Yeah.
B, how much laughter would have been around and come on and encouragement. And like you could do that with so many things.
Are they doing this at the same time?
Like the dad would say, ready, go, and they'd all have
I'm
a job.
picturing knives flying.
But that was the safety part, right, till the kids got older. But they do it with laundry. They do it with folding socks, like
that's
20 pairs of
good.
socks, hit the timer. And they had 15 years of records. Like, tell me that the kids won't remember that. Like, that'll be a forever memory. I think that's brilliant.
It is brilliant.
So that's doing, like, you're checking off multiple boxes.
Great way to get your housework done.
Work's getting done, right? Right. You can pick anything for that.
Now go do the yard.
Yeah, exactly.
The yard work.
Yeah, exactly.
Mow the lawn.
There's all that stuff that you could. So again, those are memorable, and they still get things done, and it doesn't have to be expensive or over the top.
Right.
But,
I love that.
That was
Now you
brilliant.
can do things sort of similar or not with food. I'm guessing you gave an example of food, culture, family, history to
love
create
that one
stronger
too.
connections.
Love
Tell
that
us
one.
more.
Absolutely. So we think of food kits, meal prep, and for a lot of us, that's I got to make something for supper, which we get, right? And that's realistic and it's real. But a lot of things you could do with food. Maybe the family's going to go on a holiday or have been on a holiday. So either one, and just say, hey, do you remember that time when we maybe were in Mexico or wherever, we had those great tacos? Let's recreate that as a family. Or if we're going to go somewhere, maybe we're going to Europe and or Italy, and there's going to be a wonderful dish. Let's see if we can make that. So again, give the kids a role. Like, let them pick a role, and then it's okay if they do stuff, right? So maybe one could look up the recipe, the other could check in the pantry for what's there.
Oh.
And again, we're building things, we're using food. If we have family members from a different country, let's surprise them and make a dish for them, or, I just
really
think so many options.
Yeah.
Again, none of them are over the top, not expensive, and great for family connections.
Right.
So
most parents, I would say, continue to work through the summer.
They
so
do.
that means sometimes limited income, limited energy, limited energy for sure.
Yes.
But so what do you do in that situation?
Yeah, that one's
Mom and
tough
dad
for
are
sure.
working.
Right.
We got limited time.
I got
for
you.
Sure.
So I'm going to go circle back to this. 10 minutes of focused connection far outweighs 3 hours of screen time. Everybody on their phone,
Yeah.
almost useless, right?
Yeah.
But again, another one, I heard a wonderful one that I thought was brilliant. Most family members have phones. Maybe the little ones don't. But it'd be shocking if you make something novel and different, even the teenagers buy into it. So a good activity I heard, this parent came up with, they like to get a little more activity. So they walked around the block, but the challenge is everyone's got to take a picture of something they haven't noticed in their own neighborhood.
Oh, I like it.
So it's so good again, and that's like 10, 15 minutes. People are focused on other things. They're working together. They're doing stuff together.
I like it.
And those little bits.
That's very much a slow down and
It
smell the
is,
roses
right,
along
right.
the way.
And let's use technology for something maybe other than just that brain
right.
rot version that it hears about. So I thought that's brilliant. But little snippets of focus time, even 10 minutes of playing cards. But like just so much better than hours of just, okay, you're on your screen, I'm on mine. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Why might boredom actually be helpful for kids, and how can parents respond without immediately providing another activity or a screen?
Super. Well, the modern world, it's constant stimulation, right? And I think boredom, again, as a teacher and a parent and a coach, some of the most creative things I've ever seen, class, athletics, or my own kids, is when there's unstructured time. So when people get bored, and it's hard with young kids because they're so used to that stimulation, but enough, if they get bored a little bit or even a lot, then here's what happens. They end up getting creative. They end up experimenting, trying things. They end up, playing games they've never tried, maybe a little problem solving, figuring things out. So that is so healthy. If you want a definition of resilience, I'll give it to you right here. It's not just overcoming big adversity, it's overcoming daily challenges and learning how to cope with stuff that's a little different. So that boredom, my goodness, it's different, it's a challenge. Let them figure it out a little bit.
Yeah, without the screens.
Without the screens,
Because they're automatically going to default
exactly
to
right.
that. We all do.
Well, right.
Yeah, right.
I know we do, but I'm a lot older than you, Jeanette. Growing up, there was, I remember how many times my parents say, if you're bored, go find something to do.
Yes.
Right? And I think, again, we got to be safe with our kids, but let them figure out some things. And we want them not to be bored because we want to protect our kids, but a little bit's good for sure.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
What's the most important message that you'd like parents and families to sort of remember when planning the rest of this summer?
Yeah, super. So I'm going to start with this one again. A little bit of grace and self-compassion to the parents. It's real hard because, like you mentioned, there's so many responsibilities they still got to do. Okay, so do that. And then if you're doing the family connection time, think outside the box a bit. Do something unique. Let kids pick and make it focused time, okay? And then, experience new things, little things, and then it's okay again to say to the kids, I'd even tell them, we're gonna spend 10 minutes in this room of the house, and this is the no tech room. Or in the backyard, you're on the timer, 30 minutes, no tech, it's staying in here. And again, there'll be some pushback, but we all know kids don't always want to eat their vegetables either, but sometimes you have to eat a vegetable. Sometimes you shouldn't have your screens, and make it focused, family time, and some freedom for them to explore.
Love it.
Yeah.
Rob, thanks so much for
always fun.
dropping in today and giving us all these incredible summer tips for having kids home from the summer. It's always a challenge.
It
for
is.
sure.
It is. But
for sure. Next time we'll be talking about a whole new thing because it'll be getting back into the regular routine of getting back to school.
Yeah, it's funny how that changes. Yeah.
Rob Jetten is the founder and CEO of RTJ Wellness and a certified health and wellness coach.